So I had no one show up last week, so I got a blog post done. So thank you all very much. And Barbara, actually, you had some questions. So
I do. Some questions kind of came up, and then I want a little bit of advice in a couple areas.
okay.
Um, Pen names. What do you think
Yes.
of pen name?
I have one. Because and here's why. I have a bunch of business books under my name and marketing and all that. And I wanted to write fiction. And the people who buy my business books are not going to buy my light mystery books. And if I send people who buy my business books to the fiction, it's going to screw up the Amazon algorithm, which says, oh, people who bought this book also bought this book. And you want to keep, if you're doing something totally separate, you want to have a pen name and keep it separate. Um, and that's really the reason for a pen name more than anything is just to not screw up the algorithms. If you're doing a memoir and you're naming names and maybe being very, very candid and you don't want it traced back to you, though people usually figure it out, you can use a pen name. So it just depends on what your goal is.
Well, that's a good point. The next question you kind of touched on. So I was having a conversation with somebody and they said, do you have permission to write about your granddaughters? And I go, oh, good God. I need to talk to my son. I need to say, this is what I'm doing. I
Uh-huh.
might talk to the girls and say, what is the one thing you'd want to include? Or what do you
Yeah.
remember?
Or
Give me
what
your
do you
advice.
not want me to say?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
kids get embarrassed easily
exactly.
over stuff that you wouldn't think was like things that we think are cute, and they're like, "Oh, don't tell that story," you know? So, yeah,
If I
yeah,
have
I would
a
check it
pen
through with the
name,
parents, but
if I have a pen name and use their first names only,
that's fine too. Yeah,
does that work? I'm trying to kind of walk that fine line of publishing something that is identifiable.
right. I don't.
And so,
Why
yeah,
don't
I
you
should,
use your own name and use different names for them because they're not really going to be that traceable, are they?
well, they're in England, so I don't think so. But if I use my name, it's given if I'm talking about my
It's given all the
granddaughter
way down.
and my
Yeah,
son, not my daughter-in-law. That would you'd be able to figure that out pretty well.
yeah,
However, it doesn't matter if I'm the grandmother and they're the granddaughters.
it's easy to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be easy to figure out. Anyway, the idea was, do I have a pen name? Do I talk to my son? What are kind of a host of questions I might ask my granddaughters? One, what they don't want in the book,
Yeah, definitely.
what they
Um,
want to include.
yeah, what they might want in there. And I would let them, well, one's 10 and one's is one 10?
12 and 15.
Oh, hell. Yeah, I mean they're old enough to take a look and read and see what they don't want in there. So you
The
can
oldest one, she's an avid reader. The oldest
oh,
one will be
yeah.
through it in a second.
Yeah,
It's
really.
just,
So and maybe just give them the chapters that they're in or whatever. Um, and yeah, and speak to your son. But I mean, you're not going to put anything in there that's going to be detrimental to them. They're your grandkids. So
right.
I don't,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, would I ask them to, or would I give it to them as a chance to review when
Mhm.
I'm got the final draft or anything?
I would because you don't know what's going to embarrass some kid,
Yeah, right.
you know? They might go, "Oh,
Okay.
please don't tell that." So yeah, and I think it shows that you respect them and their opinions,
Hmm.
and I think that's important for young girls.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really good. That kind of addresses the four bullet points that I had there.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you could
and
do a pen name, but I mean, it's a memoir and yeah,
so
like
I'm thinking I'll follow this up with a book on the Spirit of 45.
okay,
That's
yeah,
going to be, this is my tester, right? And then
right.
I get into writing about this 15-year nonprofit and what it was, because that I think is the legacy that I leave as a person of service,
Right,
you know, from the government, you know, from the Oregon government to the Portland mayor to the, Spirit of 45. It's a
right,
continuum of service.
right. And that's why I think you should use your real name because, and I just don't see anything in your book being detrimental to the kids. You know,
Okay, okay. So the
but
second issue was on structure. I read all your notes and listened to your
probably know it
piece
better
on
than I do
structure. Well, I got a bunch of comments here.
then. Okay.
Um, I can cross off the hero journey and the reverse chronological. I'm good. Those are not on the radar. But the others have touched what you and I have talked about, what the book's going to do. And one of I've got it chronologically, and I've done all these timeline worksheets, for every year.
Ooh, very
So
good.
I'll find out what are the three big events in that year. I'll create this outline, right?
Mhm.
But I'm thinking I can do the chronological, but I really like the braided idea.
I like the
Yeah,
braided idea for you, actually, because
because they move and the Spirit of 45 takes off,
uh-huh,
and I'm here, but I'm in England for both the children and the spirit.
right. And your story lays into the braided structure so well. It's like
Okay.
it was meant for that.
Okay. So if that's true, I'll take thematic out. What about circular? We had talked about how
Like
the
coming full
circular,
circle.
yeah.
But I think the braided can do that
So I'm going to focus on
because they're
that.
not they're not strictly one, it's only one thing. You can have peas and carrots together. I don't, but some people do. Actually, I do like peas and carrots. Thank you.
Oh, would we call this, for purposes of me centering and focus, a braided memoir with chronological sequence?
You could, if it makes it feel better. It's just
I
don't
think
get
better.
hung up on that. Just write your story. So
Okay,
you're gonna have a
okay,
braided structure, and
okay.
you've got the two stories working, and it is going to be it's going to be two chronological paths that will intersect. So yeah, you could call it that.
Well, what I like about this is that
It's a
it really
braided
is
chronology.
braided chronology. There you go. Oh, I'm getting this down. I want to be able
You
to
know I
focus
just
like
make
you
up shit, Barbara, right?
Yeah, but it's good.
I mean, it comes from, experience and whatever, but sometimes I just make names for shit. And some people get paid to do that.
That is so helpful. That was so helpful because
It's
I've
a
been through
braided
this
chronology.
and
I like that
braided
actually.
the braided chronology. And by the way, I like your slides now
Oh
because
yeah.
yeah, you're putting the PowerPoint slides. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
I've got the PowerPoint outline for 1 and 2. I just haven't put them up yet. So
Oh,
they'll
yeah,
get up
no
there.
problem. No, I knew you would get something done. And when I saw this third module, I go, I
Wait till
did
you see the
this.
fourth one.
Oh,
Fourth
I
one I had
can't.
to split the video in two because it was too long. So
Well, now it's about, kind of recasting and making sure that the baseline's done with, why I'm writing the book and all that, kind of put that together. Then module two is the brain dump, right?
right.
And I've done that and it's all over. And now I really like this timeline worksheet, but I
Right.
had done something like this probably 15 years ago. So that was helpful to fold in, but I really like this process.
Good.
So I've got a lot of work to do, but the framing is happening.
Yeah. And that's once you've got your structure and module 4, I talked about superimposing I mean, you can use your timeline as an outline, or you can make more of a formal outline out of that timeline. And from your brain dump, when you organize into the memory buckets, those are basically chapters. So you can take the timeline, you can stick your memory buckets on the timeline, and that gives you the outline timeline. It's like, but really, that structure is just there to help you find where to put your stuff. Because you've got stories and I literally call it hanging meat. When I've got a good outline or a good timeline, I'm just hanging meat. I'm hanging content onto the outline. And for the first draft, I'll tell you, it's like just hang it in there. Don't worry about the transitions and even sometimes when I'm writing fiction, I know where I want to go, but I don't know how I'm going to get there. So I'll write the chapter that I know is going to happen, and then I work my way backwards to get myself there. So it's really the outline just gives you or gives you a place to put it. And as you add more things to your outline or your timeline, um, you start seeing it come together. It's like, oh, okay. And that way it would be fun. I really wish I could. These walls are all concrete, and I would love to have like a big whiteboard,
Board.
and you could just have like your chapter on a post-it note and your timeline, and you stick it here, stick it here, stick it here. And then you go, oh no, this would go better over here. Like you could play with it and move the note cards around. But I have very thick concrete walls.
You can see it. I put my confidence pledge up there
Oh,
on
that's
the door
excellent.
and
Oh,
signed it
I love it.
because
Thank you.
I have this time frame. So every time I go in there, I go, okay.
I used to have a
Well,
Charles
I'm loving it.
Bukowski
I'm loving
poem.
this whole framework you're developing and really content rich. It's
Yeah.
just so much to take in. And then I've all these files with all this stuff hanging neat over all these pieces. I'll have a problem just sorting, kind of
And
weeding through.
yeah, and what's going to happen is module 4 is going to take more than 2 weeks to write your first draft. I mean, let's get real. And the other modules will drop, and you'll think, oh my God, I've got to get going on this. And it's like, no, they will be there for when you need them. But, writing your first draft is going to take a little bit of time. Um, when I work on the private coaching with people, it's a good 3 months of, and sometimes 4 months of back and forth writing the chapters. So it's not a thing that happens fast, but you'll at least have all the modules by the time you're ready for them. Um, so that's getting there.
I just love the whole concept because I get to relive those, years with the girls.
Yeah, that's
You
kind of
know,
fun.
what do you do with photos and videos? So, here I'm gonna have their names in it. Do I pare down what I would do with photos and videos? And,
Yeah,
my mom's book had photos in it.
yeah, you can do photos and can't really do videos.
Oh,
No, they haven't done that yet. It's kind of a George Jetson thing or a Harry Potter thing where you open up the book and there's a video playing. I mean, I think technically you could do it in an ebook, but I think the bandwidth that it would take up on Amazon, they're just not going to allow it.
my mom, when we did hers, remember the back page? It had the QR codes.
Right, yeah. You can do it that way.
I could have some kind of reference because it's really just for them. This
Right.
was, they've got some of their favorite videos, and it's about whether they want those in the book too.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
And I would
Helpful.
be a little bit more cautious about videos with the girls in them. Um, than
Because
yeah, because it's
mom's life
girls.
was over.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing to put a picture in a book, but to have a
Good
video that's
advice.
up on the internet is a whole different thing.
A good idea. Maybe I'll pair that or kind of
Yeah.
put that on the back burner.
Yeah,
Good idea. Thank
back
you.
burner any videos of the kids online because that gets into a weird area.
This 30,000 foot thing,
Uh-huh.
this is fabulous.
Oh,
This is
I'm
fabulous
glad.
because you sit there.
I
What is
pay
this
her
one?
just to say this shit, Kate.
What?
I pay her to say this shit to me.
Well, you got to make money somehow.
It's what it is. It just frames your life and you give teaser questions. And then I look at it and go, well, look how long I lived in Salem, or look how long this happened, or when did my grandparents die?
Yeah,
I mean, this is really cool. I love it.
yeah. So it's
And I
It's,
have a lot of notes and other things that I can push, cut and paste in here.
yeah, and it's so funny because, yeah, as you get older, you do tend to look back and there are things that you've forgotten, and doing that 30,000 foot view jogs your memories. And like, I don't have a whole lot of pictures anymore. Like when my mom was alive, she had all the pictures. Then my sister like kind of grabbed them all because my mom stayed at her house. So, and we got some photos, but I don't have a whole lot of photos from, my early years. But if you ask me, um, like, oh, what do you remember about your house when you were like 3? I'll say, oh, we had a steamroller in the yard because there was a picture of me playing on a steamroller. Like, I don't really remember the steamroller. I remember the picture of me with the steamroller. Dad always had fun things. We had a fire truck in that one house.
When I saw that, I put Sunday school. Now, this
Uh-huh.
is really odd because I remembered the chairs, how little they were, those little
Yeah.
tiny chairs in Sunday school. But the
Oh,
odd
yeah.
part is my parents were not religious. They didn't really attend. It must have been vacation Bible school and they took us there
Just
or
stick
something.
you there. Like, get the kids out of the house. Go
But
be nice to Jesus.
this stimulates those kind of memories you're not going to, just gear up and have.
No, and that's it. It's the stuff that unless you're really thinking back, um, you're just not going to jog into that. And it's not that, oops, there goes Kate. It's not that every it's not that your whole life is going to go into the book. It's that it gives you a perspective for that period that you're going to write about.
Yeah, yeah. Is she okay? Did she fall off or?
I don't know if she fell off or if she had to do something or if she
Okay,
got bored.
okay. Anyway, there's so much I got introduced to in the last few days. I've just been, balancing the workload here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Trying to pay attention to something that is this deep, this rich. It also reminded me about Mrs. Seidemann. I have to find a way to include Mrs. Seidemann somewhere in this.
Yep. And it'll pop up as you're hanging things. You'll find
Mhm,
that little inside move where you can put Mrs. Seiderman in there.
mhm. I also want to have, honorable mention of my mother because she played a part in their life. The high tea that they did. They
Uh-huh.
did them mostly at her house in Oregon, but they've done one or two in England. So I'll somehow tie that in.
Okay. Yeah.
So I read something that said you ghost write for people as well.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What's that process like? Yeah, sorry about that.
It's a casual day. Yeah.
I like your coaching though on the next module is going to be kind of overwhelming if I'm starting to write and I'm
Yeah.
still drafting this. Now I'm planning to use the computer for it, which leads
Uh-huh.
me to this Readsy
Oh,
tool
yeah.
that I
Uh-huh.
questioned you about. Is that something that would be helpful in what I'm doing?
Um,
Or leave it alone and wait for another time?
Honestly, it's a nice, is it like the writing tool?
Well, your other client was talking about how she was able to put chapters
Oh, yeah.
information together
It's it might be helpful. Um, like
organizationally.
to
Would it be
me,
helpful?
like I'm just like I just write my chapters in Word. Everyone's like, "Oh, what's the best program to use to write your book?" And I remember seeing Guy Kawasaki speak at some big internet convention, and I think I don't know what number in Google he was, but he's done pretty well for himself. And so I said, what do you use to write your books? He's like, Word. And oh, he was an Apple person. And so he goes, you're not using Apple Pages? He's like, no, Word. So, a Word document works. It's but if you want to use a tool like Scrivener, or if Readsy has a tool, and it seems to make it better for you, that's fine. I'm a no frills girl. So, one of the things like Scrivener has is, oh, it's a cork board with, it's a virtual cork board with index cards. Well, I don't need a virtual cork board with index cards. I've got index cards. So yeah, I'm more a paper pen, no frills girl. But I think some people like to have the things and they feel better
I
with them.
don't really want to complicate the first book by trying to figure out how the tool works and
No.
write it.
Well,
That's the other part.
yeah,
She made it sound like it was great and structurally and organizationally, and it piqued my interest. But as I
uh-huh.
think about it and how I'm doing this, Word can work for me.
Yeah, it's when I got Scrivener, because I thought, oh, this is going to be great, and blah, 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 blah. It was like one more thing to learn, and it didn't really help the process. It kind of held it up. So if you're used to working in Word, then work in Word because you're comfortable with it and there's no barriers. And I have
And
yet
I think you don't want to lose information or,
to,
mess it up because the tool.
yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
seen people lose stuff and, but I mean, I think if you were first starting writing, or if you might start with a tool, but if you've been without it, you really don't need it.
Well, I mean, I really enjoy writing. I think you said something in one of the sessions about, kind of writing levels. I wouldn't
Right.
put me at the highest, like a book level, but in a business world,
You can write,
and
you can write your
it
ass off.
comes to me, right? And I
Yeah,
go, oh, we have to include this. Oh, we have to do this. And then I send
yeah,
it off to staff for review and they, redline it or, ask me questions.
exactly.
It is it is a process where I really get excited about when it starts to come together, right? And my
Right.
mind just rolls it out.
Perfect. Yeah,
I think there's so much material here. If I can kind of parcel it so that I'm focused on the main and then keep the materials down here, then I
right.
can add maybe bits and pieces. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm excited about doing it and don't have any, I shouldn't say, I don't have any people in my way. Like I don't have any plans to fly out. My sister, I said, do you want me to come over to Squim? And she hasn't even responded. And I'm like, okay.
Wow. Okay, yeah,
I
exactly.
think going to her place is kind of cool. She has a mountain, 20-acre mountain, and you can look out into Canada actually, to
Uh-huh.
Mount Baker and look
Wow.
across the straits. And she has a cottage that has a window that looks out there.
Oh,
And I'm
pretty.
just thinking I wouldn't mind spending a couple days. She works still. She can
Right.
be at work and I can go at it.
And yeah, you can write and look at that view and get some inspiration. And
Mhm.
sometimes it just helps to get away from your normal work spot. I had a friend when he was finishing up his book, he had all the research, done, and he just needed to write the book. And he was on deadline because he was way behind. And he just checked into a hotel for like a week, and all he did was write chapters. He had all the research ready to go. He just sat there and wrote the chapters out. And, hotel, room service, someone's cleaning your room. You don't have to worry about a thing. All he had to do was write, and that's all he did.
Good idea.